Imagine this. You've booked your dream vacation, packed your bags, breezed through airport security, and now you're standing at the gate, excited, ready, and just moments away from takeoff. You can even see your plane waiting outside the window. But just as you step forward to board, the gate agent stops you and says, "Sorry, you're not allowed to board." Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, in 2025, this is becoming a harsh reality for more travelers than ever. And some of the reasons? They're absolutely shocking. In this video, I'll reveal 11 surprising reasons why passengers are getting denied boarding in 2025, and more importantly, how you can avoid becoming one of them. And trust me, reason #11 is something that could completely ruin your trip, and it's happening far more often than you'd think. Let's dive in. Number 1, your carry-on is too big and you refuse to check it. Airlines are getting strict, like really strict about carry-on bags. Even if you think it fits, the overhead bin gate agents now have measuring racks, and they're actually using them. If your bag doesn't fit, they might ask you to check it at the last minute. And if you refuse, you could be denied boarding right then and there. It's happened to people carrying valuables, meds, or even musical instruments. A world-famous violinist was once told to either check her 200-year-old violin, or miss the flight. Brutal morale of the story: don't fight the gate agent at the last second over your bag. You won't win. Reason number 2, you showed up on time, but the gate was already closed. Here's the trick. Flight time is not boarding time. Most airlines close the gate about 15 minutes before departure, but lately some are closing it even earlier. Especially if everyone's already checked in, you could be sitting at the airport cafe thinking you've got time, and boom, gate shut once it's closed. It doesn't matter how loud you beg or how fast you sprint. I've seen people miss their flight while hearing their name called over the loudspeaker, only to arrive at the gate and find it completely deserted. So whatever time you think you need to be there, get there earlier. Reason number 3, your name doesn't match your ID. This one feels so small until it ruins your trip. If the name on your flight ticket doesn't exactly match your passport or government-issued ID, you can be denied boarding right at the gate. Airlines don't mess around with this. It's part of strict international security rules. Even using a nickname like Sam instead of Samuel can be a problem. If your ID says something else. There was a guy who booked a ticket for his friend under the name Fluffy McKittens. As a joke, funny, sure, but it almost cost the poor guy his whole vacation. Always double-check your booking. Use your full legal name, and if there's a typo, fix it before you get to the airport. Some airlines charge for name changes, but that's way better than missing your flight. Reason number 4, you missed the check-in cutoff. Even if you're early to the airport, you can still be denied boarding if you miss the check-in deadline, which usually closes 30 to 60 minutes before departure. This one catches people off guard, especially at big airports where the lines can be long. You're thinking, I've got an hour, I'm fine, but if you haven't checked in or dropped your bag by the cutoff time, they won't let you through security. And here's the twist. Some airlines are quietly shortening those cutoff times without telling anyone. It's catching travelers by surprise, especially those who check in at the desk instead of online. Morale of the story: check in online whenever possible, and know your airline's deadlines. Don't assume they're all the same. Reason number 5, you refused facial recognition at the gate. Some airports are going full sci-fi with facial recognition boarding instead of scanning your boarding pass. A camera scans your face and checks it against your passport photo in a secure database. It's fast, slick, and kind of controversial. A lot of people are refusing to participate because of privacy concerns. And here's where it gets tricky. On some international flights, you might not be allowed to opt out in certain cases, especially if you're not a citizen of the country you're flying from. Refusing the face scan means you don't fly, even if you're allowed to opt out. The manual ID check can slow things down and possibly cause delays, sometimes enough to miss your boarding window altogether. So, yeah, the future is watching your face whether you like it or not. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Reason number 6. You were rude to airline staff. You might not think a little attitude at the gate matters, but it does. Airline staff have the authority to deny you boarding if they believe you'll be a problem in the air, and sometimes that judgment call is made in a split second. Maybe you rolled your eyes, raised your voice, or argued about a seat change. Doesn't matter if you're right, they can still kick you off. One woman was denied boarding after snapping at a gate agent over baggage fees. Another was pulled aside just for being sarcastic during check-in. Gate agents are trained to spot red flags before passengers even step on the plane. So here's the pro move: be cool, stay calm, smile. Your trip could literally depend on it. Reason number 7, you got bumped from an overbooked flight. Here's the wild part: even if you do everything right, check in early, arrive on time, smile at the gate agent, you can still be denied boarding. Why? Because your flight was overbooked. Airlines sell more tickets than there are seats, betting on a few no-shows. But when everyone shows up, someone's not getting on that plane. They'll usually ask for volunteers first, sometimes even offering cash or travel credits, but if no one bites, they'll start picking people. And no, it's not always random. Sometimes it's based on check-in time, fare class, or even your frequent flyer status. So what can you do? Check in as early as possible. Join your airline's loyalty program even if you only fly occasionally, and don't book basic economy if you can avoid it. Those seats are often first to go when someone gets the boot. Reason number 8, you smelled weird. Yeah, this one's awkward, but it's real if a gate agent or flight crew thinks your body odor or cologne is too strong or offensive. They can deny you boarding to avoid complaints from other passengers. It's not just about hygiene. Strong perfume, essential oils, even lingering cigarette smoke can cause allergic reactions or discomfort on a full flight. And here's the kicker. There's no official rule book. It's totally up to the airline's judgment. So if someone complains or if the crew thinks there might be an issue mid-flight, they'll play it safe and leave you behind. So before heading to the airport, maybe double-check that you smell fresh, travel-ready, and not scented candle warehouse. Reason number 9, you didn't have the right ID or passport. Not all IDs are created equal, especially if you're flying internationally or even on certain domestic routes. If your passport is damaged, expired, or doesn't have enough blank pages, you could be denied before you even get to the gate. Some countries require at least 6 months of passport validity from your arrival date, not your departure. Others demand multiple blank visa pages. If your passport has rips, water damage, or is just plain worn out, you're a risk they won't take. And if you're flying domestically in a country that's enforcing new ID rules like Real ID in the US, a regular license might not cut it anymore. Bottom line, double-check passport rules for your destination and don't assume your ID is valid just because it worked last time. Reason number 10, you booked with a glitch and didn't know it. You found an amazing flight deal. Everything went smoothly and your email confirmation looks legit, but when you show up at the airport, they can't find your booking, or worse, it was accidentally canceled. This happens more than you think. A payment glitch, a failed card authorization, or even booking 2 one-way tickets on separate airlines can confuse the system. Sometimes third-party booking sites don't sync properly with the airline's database. You think you have a ticket, but the airline sees an incomplete booking or a ghost reservation. If your name isn't in their system at check-in, you're not flying. So always, confirm your reservation directly with the airline a few days before your trip, and take screenshots of everything just in case. But before we get to the wildest reason travelers are being denied boarding in 2025. Please do me a quick favor if you found this video helpful. So far, go ahead and tap that like button, and if you love travel tips that save you money, stress, and unexpected airport drama, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Alright, let's get to the final reason, and this one's the kind of thing that could ruin more than just your trip. Reason number 11, you were flagged by a mistake and now you're on a no-fly list. This is the nightmare no one sees coming. You check in. Everything seems normal until the agent pulls you aside and tells you can't board, and no one can give you a straight answer why. In some rare but very real cases, travelers have been wrongly flagged or accidentally placed on no-fly lists due to things like a name that matches someone else's, a past in-flight incident. Even if it wasn't serious or a computer error or security database glitch, one woman showed up for her sister's wedding only to find out she'd been banned from flying over something she didn't even do. It took weeks to clear her name, and she missed the wedding. You can't always prevent this, but you can lower the risk. Avoid causing any drama during flights. Don't joke about security or use certain flagged phrases, and if you've had trouble before, call the airline days before you fly, just to confirm your status, because finding out at the gate, that's way too late. And there you have it, 11 reasons travelers are being denied boarding in 2025.